Welcome back, adventurers, once again to Let's Play ChäoS Head. And in the last episode, Takumi was trying his best to speak to Rimi in person, and not one of his many delusions. Sadly to no avail, however. Yet, Rimi has just noticed that Kozue is walking towards Takumi's desk, which is a bit of a surprise, given the fact that, well, she's not necessarily talking so much to Daisuke as Daisuke is talking to her, which is what it was doing in the previous episode. But now they're both coming this way. The transfer student? Why would she come here, I wonder? Did she mean to blame me for not helping her when we were on the stairs? Well, that was kind of a dick move there, of all things considered, but she didn't seem too upset when she finally pulled out the band-aid. But she didn't seem like the type to do that. Maybe she had some business with Rimi rather than me. I wouldn't be too sure of that. Speaking of which, there she is, and as before, she's not talking aloud in person. Well, for now at least. The transfer student stopped when she had come up to Rimi's side. She didn't say a thing. What did she want? As long as Rimi was here, I couldn't raise my head. The transfer student's toes were fidgeting in her shoes, but she still didn't attempt to say anything.
折原さん、どうしたの?
Well, at least the mood changed a bit. For some reason, the transfer student left a band-aid on the edge of my desk. A curious gift. It was a fancy bandage, one with an absurd-looking character Gero Froggy depicted on it. Oh dear lord. The trend continues, ladies and gentlemen. First plushie toys, then now band-aids. What will they think of next? And I'm actually shudder to find out the answer to that question.
Huh?
Was she trying to give this to me as a means of cheering up Takumi as well? I was at a loss for words, a loss for how to react. This Kozue already had a girl was kind of weird. And she's suddenly now upset. Maybe because Takumi didn't readily accept the bandage when it was given to him.
折原さん、泣かないで。
Was she crying? I would say that she is. Why would she cry? Because I was not replying to her? But she wasn't saying anything either.
タクは怒ってるわけじゃないと思うよ。
Rimi followed up for me. Somehow it gave me an indescribable feeling. I almost knew nothing about Rimi, but she knew me well. That she certainly does.
彼ってあんまり人と目を合わせようとしないの。引っ込み思案ってやつ。
Now it kind of hurts when people point it out in real life, although that being said, it's entirely true.
だからそんなにガチガチに緊張しなくてもね。
I wonder if your pep talk is actually going to make Kozue feel just a little bit better there, Rimi.
私にも絆創膏くれるの？ありがとう。
Well, looks like that actually worked. Kind of surprising. The transfer student bowed her head deeply and returned to her own seat as though fleeing. And Rimi's just as surprised as we were when Kozue gave us the bandage.
なんだかよくわかんないんだけど、タク、その絆創膏もらってあげるべきだと思う。
I think myself that we should probably take Rimi's advice and accept the bandage there, Takumi. Why had she given it to me? Who can say? And we've pretty much lost our chance to ask her that very question. Oh well.
梢ちゃん、無口だよな。
As opposed to the person who was probably talking at her non-stop. I sensed Mizumi-kun's return.
転校初日に俺が校内を案内したんだけどよ。
You know, in spite of your personality, that probably was a genuinely nice thing to do, so I'm going to give you a pass on that. Just this once, mind you.
うわぁ、早くも手出したんだ。
Rimi, however, can see through Daisuke quite well.
まだ出してねえっつうの。
What do you mean yet?
んで、まあ1時間ぐらいかけてあちこち回ったんだけど、もう俺一人で延々と喋り続けたよ。あの時はさすがにちーっと疲れたぜ。
I was going to say that I'm honestly surprised that he got tired of talking, but he was still talking in this conversation.
しかも、すぐ泣きべそかく。
そうそう。今も急に泣き出したから何が起きたかと思ってあたふたしちゃった。
Yeah, there is something rather peculiar about Kozue's mood swings there that I cannot put my finger on exactly why or how.
そんだけピュアなんだよ。
You might be right about that again, Daisuke.
なたく、お前ならわかるだろ。梢ちゃんの仕草、一つ一つの可愛さってのがよ。
Then again, I might have to take those previous words back.
お前流に言うなら、萌えってやつだ。
And Takumi is just once again stunned by Daisuke's lack of tact.
なんだ、クソでも我慢してんのか？
I shook my head with all my strength.
タク、さっきからちっとも喋ってくれないんだ。
That's because you're here. I wasn't fully prepared yet. I'd never had an intimate conversation with a female friend before. For that matter, I've never made a single female friend even once in my entire life.
でもさ、今折原さんと話してみてなんとなく思ったんだけど、彼女と話してるとなんだか疲れちゃいそうかもなんて。
You know, that would actually be construed as a rather insensitive statement there.
女子ってのはマジで同性に対して容赦ねえな。ま、梢ちゃんは俺が守るからいいけどな。
ほんの数十秒前に大地も相手するの疲れたって言ってなかった？
うっせ。
You didn't miss a beat on that one, did you, Daisuke?
梢ちゃんはタクと同じ匂いがするぜ。ほっとけねえって感じ？
Come to think of it, Kozue actually said something similar when she passed by Takumi's desk at that one time.
それはわかるかも。
Which is probably part of an explanation as to why Kozue feels glad that she's in the same class as Takumi. Because at the very least, she has one person that she can actually relate to. And the sentiment might actually be mutual. But then again, knowing Takumi, we're probably still a long way off from that revelation. I see. Now that he mentioned it, when the transfer student came to our class, hadn't she said something similar?
この人似てる。同じクラスでよかった。
What are those words of hers meant? I think Daisuke and Rimi actually just spelled it out rather clearly there. But never mind. The sound of the bell informed us that all of today's classes were over. At the same time, I got my things together and left the classroom. The subtle, uncertain sense of distance between me and Rimi made me anxious not to stay, and I wanted to disappear from the classroom as soon as possible. Besides, I needed to stop by Mandarake today. In the end, I hadn't been able to say a single word to Rimi. Unfortunate, but that's just how it is. I'd had many chances to speak, but in the same way as in the morning, I'd done nothing but hold my tongue. That's going to make things a little bit more difficult the next few days. Perhaps it'd been bad to act like that. At any rate, it'd be even harder to talk next time we met. When it came to making contact with Rimi, I was sinking into quicksand. And things are probably going to get even worse now that Nanami is here. When I was about to leave the school building, a most unpleasant person called to me. Nanami came running over, carrying a wastebasket. It looked like she had been in the middle of cleaning and was going to throw its contents away. She spotted me in a blink of an eye. I tried to ignore her and get out of there fast, but in typical fashion, Nanami wouldn't let me run away. Alas. She pulled at the hem of my uniform from behind.
妹見て逃げるなって何度言えばわかるの？
なんだよ。
She seems genuinely upset. And we also get different music. It's intense and kind of catchy if I say so myself.
なんだよじゃないわ。お兄が逃げるからナナもつい追いかけちゃうんじゃん。
Don't chase me if you don't have any real business with me.
相変わらず家に電話かけてこないし、まあナナはもう諦めたけど、どうせお兄が真面目に連絡入れてくるとは思えないもんね。
I think Takumi said as much the first time you were trying to get him to purchase a cell phone. You understand, don't you? Oh, quite well, don't you? You aren't my little sister for nothing. Not that I had any need whatsoever for a 3D sister.
というわけで、これからも定期的にナナがお兄の部屋に様子見に行くから。
In other words, your plan backfired spectacularly there, Takumi.
感謝してよね。
Damn it. It had turned out like this regardless. I longed to somehow escape from this curse of this depression-inducing sister of mine. No, even knowing it was impossible, I'd at least like a little repayment for putting up with her. I thought about that all the time. I know. Here was my chance to spring into action with a plan I previously concocted, sorry. It could turn out to be a small, quiet form of revenge. Oh no, I think I can see where this is going, and if you do this, Takumi, it's probably not going to end well. But he's going to do it anyway. I took a look at our surroundings, then beckoned Nanami and began walking towards the courtyard.
Nani?
And Nanami, it doesn't seem suspicious in the slightest. Wish she was.
ちょっと来てくれ。
なんで？なんかあるの？
She was the type to get obnoxious over every little detail. Stupid sis. Incapable of coming along after me in a nice, straightforward way.
ナナミに大事な頼みがある。
え？頼み？お兄が？なのに？
Yeah, it's not really a favor, so to speak. Not a favorable favor, anyway. Nanami's eyes went round.
珍しいじゃん。お兄が頼み事なんて。
That's why your mental alarm bell should be ringing right away.
とにかく黙ってついてこいって。
あ、ちょっと待ってよ。
Yeah, she's still cleaning. There are few people in the courtyard. It became boisterous with students eating their lunches during the noon break. But the only people who came out here after school were those in the gardening club. They have one of
で、
those?
頼みって？
It's a favor that you are definitely not going to like, Nanami. Nanami put the wastebasket she was holding down on the ground, then puffed out her chest, grinning.
条件はマクで汚りね。その条件飲んでくれるんなら本当は嫌だけどお兄の頼み聞いてあげる。
Yeah, hate to break it to you there, Takumi, but Nanami's negotiation skills definitely put you in the proverbial hot seat there. She was constantly finding ways to piss me off. To think that she'd demand some kind of payback. Well, to be fair, you were the one who was trying to get payback against her first. So it's your own fault. On top of that, I treated her the last time we were at McDee's. Meh, whatever.
わかった。おごる。
Yeah, sadly you had no choice but to accept in this situation. Otherwise your plan to get revenge on her would be, falling apart right about now.
え、本当？今日のお兄いつもと違うね。
And I'm genuinely surprised that Nanami still isn't suspicious in any possible regard. Yeah, but I'm lying. So sorry for being a liar, lol. You're not sorry in the slightest. But you will be. You will be. And so I handed my cell phone to Nanami. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. I asked her to dial up the number recorded in my received calls history that had sent me that prank call, because I'm not reading that out again, ladies and gentlemen.
着歴の番号にかける？相手は誰？
Yeah, about that. I don't think we're gonna be able to come up with a plausible excuse.
ネットの知り合い。
Seeing Nanami cock her head dubiously to one side, I swiftly told her an appropriate sounding lie. I do not think that she would buy it.
どうして7がかけるの？
かければわかる。
なんか企んでない？
Now she's getting suspicious there, and it's about time too. Ah, geez, so obnoxious. She is, but she has her ways. All you gotta do is shut up and do as I say. If only things worked out in your favor. If you can't, go home. I got no need for you.
じゃあもうお前には頼まない。
I think your attempt to be a male tsundere is not going to work well. I made it as if to swipe back my cell phone, but Nanami yanked her hand away, dodging me.
わかったってかけるよ。かければいいんでしょ。
Or maybe it did work. Who knew?
ほんとわがままなお兄だな。
I don't want to hear it from you. I forced down my anger, held my breath and watched as Nanami dialed the aforementioned number. Let's just hope that nothing terrible happens. She's really going to be upset when she hears that strange noise again. If the call plays the same again as it did before. Of course, she might actually end up talking to the person that delivered that call in the first place, which would make things awkward, not to mention worse. The clueless Nanami put my phone to her ear with a carefree look on her face, waiting for the person on the other end to pick up. I could see a yellow bangle on her wrist as she held the phone up. Yeah, that was a spangle I'd given her, or rather the one that Nanami started wanting all on her own. Not that you cared for it in any capacity there. Did she wear it even when she's going to school? I wondered if she'd taken that much of a liking to it. Well, clearly she has, if she's now wearing it every single day. To such a cheap looking free extra bangle. Nanami had no taste after all. Well, not that I had any right to talk. That's the first truthful thing that you've said this entire episode. Wait, none of that mattered now. Now then, who is going to answer the phone? Will it be some scary juvie type asshole? Or will it be that rather cryptic phone call? I hoped there was a simple prank and had absolutely nothing to do with either Shogun or Yua.
あ、もしもし。
It seemed that the call had gone through. Nanami had cupped her hand around the receiver as she spoke into it. But she soon knitted her eyebrows together and stuck the cell phone out in my direction. Yeah, I think our plans have fallen apart. And by our plans, I of course mean your plans there, Takumi.
お兄。
なんだ
なんだじゃないよ。現在使われてませんって言ってるよ。
Well, color me surprised. That's unusual.
え
I snatched the phone back from Nanami and put it against my ear. What I heard was,
おかけになった電話番号は現在使われておりません。番号をご確認の上、もう一度おかけ直しください。
now that is peculiar. We cannot reach whoever is on the other end of the line because it is out of service. Which is completely and absolutely odd. She was right, which meant that it might have been a plain old prank after all. Yet that still begs the question of how exactly they managed to reach your cell phone. And also why that voicemail played precisely the way that it did. But in any event, your attempts to get revenge on Nanami have, well, they've completely crashed and burned. Get a prepaid phone meant to last a couple of days, randomly call a bunch of numbers, then toss the phone when the prank was over. That was how it might have worked. Even so, it was an awfully large-scale prank. If, that is, if the recipient was more than just yourself. Well, not that I cared much either way. It wasn't a problem, now that I knew the mysterious call had really been a prank. Nanami is upset,
ね
however,
え一体何なの？
and unamused as well.
もうお前用なし。
So, in a nutshell, we completely failed. Congratulations. I walked off, leaving Nanami behind, but she soon caught up with me.
どういうことか説明してよ。
I hate to break it to you, Nanami, but there is really nothing further to explain at this point. It was such a bother.
お前掃除中だろ。ゴミ箱を置きっぱなしだぞ。
Bit of a cheap shot there, Takumi, especially for you.
あね、でも説明聞いてないもん。
僕は帰る。
Refusing to engage with Nanami as she hounded me, I hastened towards the school gates. She's still following.
もういい。じゃあマクディを怒る約束だからね。ちゃんと覚えといてよ。
Yeah, something tells me that she's going to make sure that you hold up your end of the bargain there, Takumi.
知るか。
ちょっと嘘ついたの？
And it's only now that Nanami has realized the trap that Takumi had set for her, even if the trap didn't entirely work out the way that he had hoped.
まあな。
Infuriated, Nanami stopped in place. But I kept going.
お兄のバカ！
She yelled in a voice loud enough to resound throughout the whole area, or through the whole area. When I looked back at her, fed up, she was glaring angrily at me, shoulders tense.
お兄なんて携帯の電磁波の影響で脳みそスカスカにされて死んじゃえ！
Shit. Thanks to her shouting, the people around us were starting to focus on me too, even though it was my policy to stand out as little as possible while at school. My sister was obnoxious to the bitter end. Disregarding Nanami, I scampered off to the gate. At times like this, running away was the best alternative, not to mention it's the only alternative.
バカ！
I became exhausted, hearing Nanami's voice even after I passed through the gates. Now off we go. Right here to Manga Darake. I really liked an artist called Marasema Azuma, or is it actually is it actually Azuma Marasema and not the other way around? I don't know. I don't know who this artist is, but when we return in the next episode of Let's Play ChäoS, we're probably going to hear a lot more about this artist from Takumi. And we're also going to probably learn what it is that Takumi intends to get from the Manga Darake store. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.